As winter approaches, ensuring you're prepared for severe weather is more than just a good idea. It's a critical step for your safety and well-being. For seniors, the risks associated with winter storms, from power outages to impassable roads, can be especially challenging. That's why having a well-stocked emergency kit is essential. This isn't just any checklist. We've compiled a list of 15 FEMA-approved winter survival items that every person aged 55 and over should consider stockpiling for the 2025 season. Creating a sense of security before the first snowflake falls allows you to face the season with confidence. Our guide is specifically tailored to address the unique needs of seniors, focusing on items crucial for maintaining health, comfort, and safety during an unexpected emergency. From specialized medical supplies to long-lasting food and communication tools, this list will help you prepare a comprehensive kit. Let's walk through the essential items that will keep you safe and sound, no matter what winter brings. Secure your sustenance. Non-perishable food is non-negotiable. When a winter storm hits, the assumption that you can simply run to the store is a dangerous one. Roads can become impassable in minutes, and power outages can render grocery stores useless. For seniors, this situation is not just inconvenient, it's a direct threat to health and safety. You cannot afford to be without a reliable source of food. This is why a substantial stockpile of non-perishable, easy-to-prepare food is the bedrock of any serious winter survival plan. Relying on your current pantry stock is a mistake. You need a dedicated emergency supply, separate from your daily groceries, that will sustain you for a minimum of 1 week, though aiming for 2 is a wiser strategy. Complacency in this area is a risk you should not be willing to take. The food you store must be ready to eat or require minimal preparation, as you may be without electricity or gas for cooking. Your emergency food supply must be practical. Forget about items that require complex cooking, refrigeration, or a long list of ingredients. Focus on high-calorie, nutrient-dense foods that will keep your energy levels up and provide comfort in a stressful situation. Canned goods are a staple for a reason. They have an incredibly long shelf life and are ready to eat. Think canned soups, stews, chili, vegetables, and fruit. Look for low-sodium options if you have dietary restrictions, as high-sodium foods can increase thirst, straining your water supply. Freeze-dried meals, often used by campers and hikers, are another excellent choice. They are lightweight, have a shelf life of up to 25 years, and only require the addition of hot water, which can be prepared on a small camp stove or other alternative heat source. High-calorie snacks are also critical for maintaining energy and morale. Stock up on protein bars, granola bars, nuts, seeds, dried fruit, and peanut butter. These items require no preparation and provide a quick boost when you need it most. Do not forget comfort items like instant coffee, tea bags, and hard candies. They can make a significant psychological difference during a prolonged emergency. 2. The critical importance of water reserves. Water is the single most important survival item. You can survive for weeks without food, but only a few days without water. Any disruption to the municipal water supply, whether from a power outage that stops the pumps or a pipe freezing and bursting, puts you in immediate jeopardy. Waiting until the taps run dry is too late. The official FEMA recommendation is to store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. For a senior couple, this means having a minimum of 14 gallons on hand to last 1 week. This is not a suggestion, it is a baseline for survival. This water is for more than just drinking. It's for personal hygiene, sanitation, and any food preparation that requires it. Overlooking this fundamental need is one of the most severe errors you can make in your preparedness efforts. Do not assume bottled water will be available for purchase once an emergency is declared. It is always the first thing to disappear from store shelves. Storing water is straightforward, but it requires a deliberate plan. Commercially bottled water is the safest and most reliable option. It is sealed, purified, and easy to store. Keep it in a cool, dark place, away from direct sunlight to prevent plastic degradation. Pay attention to the expiration dates, not because the water itself goes bad, but because the plastic can begin to break down over time. If buying cases of water is not feasible, you can store your own tap water in sturdy, food-grade containers. Sanitize them thoroughly with a solution of 1 teaspoon of unscented liquid household chlorine bleach per quart of water, swishing it to cover all surfaces. Then rinse completely before filling. In addition to stored water, you must have a secondary method for purification. Water purification tablets or a portable water filter are essential backups. These items can render questionable water sources, like melted snow or rainwater, safe to drink by removing harmful bacteria and protozoa. Having these purification methods on hand means your water supply becomes renewable, a critical advantage in a long-term outage. 3. Maintain power. Maintain control. Modern life depends on electricity. For seniors, this dependence is often a matter of health and safety, not just convenience. A power outage can disable critical medical equipment like CPAP machines, oxygen concentrators, and powered mobility devices. It cuts off your connection to the outside world by disabling phones, internet, and television. It plunges your home into darkness, dramatically increasing the risk of falls and other injuries. It also knocks out your primary heating system, which can lead to life-threatening hypothermia in a winter storm. A portable power source is not a luxury. It is an essential piece of equipment that gives you control over your environment when the grid fails. Waiting for the power company to fix the problem is a passive and dangerous strategy. You must have the ability to generate your own electricity to power the devices that keep you safe, healthy, and informed. Your choice of a power source should be based on your specific needs and capabilities. For those who rely on medical devices, a battery-powered or solar-powered generator is the most robust solution. These devices are quiet, produce no fumes, and can be used safely indoors. They can keep a CPAP machine running through the night, recharge a powered wheelchair, and keep a refrigerator running to protect temperature-sensitive medications like insulin. Before purchasing, calculate the wattage requirements of your essential devices to ensure the generator you choose has sufficient capacity. For less critical needs, a collection of smaller power sources is vital. Stockpile multiple high-capacity portable power banks to keep your mobile phones and tablets charged. This maintains your line of communication with family, emergency services, and news updates. Invest in high-quality batteries for all your essential items, including flashlights, lanterns, and a battery-operated NOAA weather radio. Check and rotate these batteries every 6 months to ensure they are fresh. A combination of a larger generator for medical and refrigeration needs and smaller power banks for communication creates a layered, resilient power strategy that will see you through an extended outage. 4. Beyond Band-Aids. Your medical lifeline. A standard, off-the-shelf first aid kit is grossly inadequate for a real winter emergency, especially for seniors. An emergency situation elevates stress, which can exacerbate existing health conditions. A fall in the dark, a minor cut while opening a can, or the simple inability to get prescription refills can escalate into a major medical crisis when you are isolated and emergency services are delayed. Your first aid kit is not just for minor scrapes, it is your personal, temporary clinic when the real one is unreachable. Do not treat this as a box to be checked off. You must build and maintain a comprehensive medical supply kit that directly addresses your specific health needs. A generic kit lacks the personalized medications and equipment that could be life-saving. Relying on a basic kit filled with a few bandages and antiseptic wipes is a gamble with your health. Your first step is to gather a minimum of a 2-week supply of all prescription medications. Do not wait for a storm warning, as pharmacies may be overwhelmed or closed. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about getting an extra supply for emergency purposes. Beyond prescriptions, your kit must include over-the-counter medications relevant to your health. Pain relievers, fever reducers, anti-diarrhea medication, laxatives, and allergy medication. Think about the common ailments that affect you and prepare for them. The next layer of customization involves medical equipment. If you have high blood pressure, a battery-powered blood pressure monitor is not a luxury. It's essential. If you have diabetes, ensure you have a surplus of test strips, lancets, and a backup glucose meter with extra batteries. Your kit must also contain a robust supply of standard first aid items. Sterile gloves, gauze pads of various sizes, adhesive tape, antiseptic wipes, antibiotic ointment, and hydrocortisone cream. Consider adding items like a digital thermometer, tweezers, and sharp scissors. A well-organized, clearly labeled, and regularly inspected medical kit is a non-negotiable component of your survival strategy. It is your primary tool for managing your health when professional medical help is out of reach. 5. The absolute necessity of retaining body heat. When the power goes out in winter, your home's central heating system becomes useless. The temperature inside your house will start to drop, and it will eventually approach the temperature outside. For a senior, this is not just uncomfortable, it is a life-threatening situation. Hypothermia, a dangerous drop in body temperature, can set in quickly and is a significant risk for older adults who may have circulatory issues or a lower metabolic rate. Believing a few extra blankets from the closet will be sufficient is a critical miscalculation. You must have a dedicated stockpile of clothing and blankets designed specifically for survival situations where generating external heat is not an option. The goal is to trap and retain your own body heat as efficiently as possible. This requires layers and the right materials. Forget cotton. When cotton gets damp from sweat or humidity, it loses its insulating properties and will actually make you colder. Your survival clothing and blankets must be made from materials that insulate even when wet. Wool is a superior choice. Stockpile wool socks, sweaters, and hats. Layering is the most effective method for staying warm. You should have multiple layers of clothing, starting with a base layer of thermal underwear, wine johns, made from wool or synthetic fabrics like polypropylene. Add a middle layer, such as a fleece or wool sweater, and an outer layer if needed. Your extremities, head, hands, and feet, lose heat the fastest. A warm winter hat is mandatory, as is a supply of insulated gloves or mittens. For your feet, multiple pairs of thick wool socks are crucial. Beyond clothing, you need emergency blankets. Mylar thermal blankets, often called space blankets, are lightweight, compact, and highly effective at reflecting body heat back to you. They are a critical component of any kit. Also, consider investing in high-quality wool or fleece blankets. A battery-powered heated blanket can provide significant comfort and warmth, but ensure you have the portable power source to run it. Your ability to stay warm without relying on the power grid is a direct measure of your ability to survive a prolonged winter outage. 6. Defeating the darkness. A multi-layered lighting strategy, a power outage plunges you into absolute darkness, instantly transforming your familiar home into a hazardous environment. The risk of falls, trips, and injuries increases exponentially. Navigating your own hallway becomes a dangerous task. Relying on your phone's flashlight is a short-sighted plan that will quickly drain a battery needed for communication. Using candles is an even worse idea. The risk of fire in a stressful, cluttered emergency situation is far too high and has led to countless tragedies. A deliberate and robust lighting plan is fundamental to safety and security during a blackout. You need multiple, reliable, and long-lasting light sources strategically placed throughout your home. Waiting until the lights go out to search for a flashlight is a recipe for disaster. Your primary light sources should be modern LED flashlights and lantern. LED technology is far superior to old incandescent bulbs as it provides brighter light, uses a fraction of the power, and lasts significantly longer. You should have several of these devices. Do not just have one master flashlight. Place one in the kitchen, one in the bathroom, one in the bedroom, and one with your central emergency kit. This ensures a light source is always within arm's reach. Equally important is a massive stockpile of the correct size of batteries for each device. Check and rotate these batteries every 6 months to guarantee they are fresh when you need them most. However, batteries will eventually run out. For this reason, your lighting strategy must include non-battery dependent options. A solar-powered or hand-crank flashlight or lantern is an essential backup. These devices can provide limitless light as long as you have sunlight or the physical ability to crank them. A quality hand-crank lantern can illuminate an entire room, providing a sense of normalcy and safety that is psychologically vital during a prolonged outage. Headlamps are also an excellent investment, as they keep your hands free for performing tasks like preparing food or sorting through your medical kit. A multi-layered approach, combining battery-powered LEDs with renewable crank or solar options, ensures you will never be left in the dark. 7. Information lifeline. The non-negotiable emergency radio. When a winter storm knocks out power and cell service, your connection to the outside world is severed. Your television will not turn on. Your internet router will be a useless plastic box. Your smartphone, once its battery dies, becomes a paperweight. In this information vacuum, ignorance is not bliss. It is dangerous. Without real-time updates from authorities, you have no way of knowing the storm's trajectory, the extent of the damage, the location of emergency shelters, or when to expect rescue. This is why an emergency radio is not a quaint relic of the past. It is a critical survival tool. Relying on word of mouth or hoping your cell service holds is a gamble you cannot afford to take. You must have a direct line to official broadcasts, and a dedicated emergency radio is the only reliable way to get it. The most effective tool for this purpose is a NOAA weather radio with a public alert feature. These devices are designed to receive broadcasts directly from the National Weather Service and other emergency agencies. They will automatically activate and sound an alarm when a hazardous weather or civil emergency alert is issued for your specific area. This is your early warning system, providing crucial information before, during, and after an event. Forget standard AM/FM radios. While better than nothing, they do not offer the same targeted automatic alert capability. Your emergency radio must also have a reliable power source that is independent of the grid. The best models are multi-powered, featuring a hand crank generator, a solar panel, and a built-in rechargeable battery in addition to an option for disposable batteries. This redundancy ensures that you can power the radio no matter the circumstances. A hand crank radio provides an indefinite power supply through simple manual labor. A few minutes of cranking can provide hours of listening time, keeping you informed without depending on a finite battery supply. This device is your lifeline to crucial information. Not having one is an irresponsible oversight. 8. Secure your health. A critical medication supply. For many seniors, daily medication is not optional. It is essential for life. A winter emergency that prevents you from accessing a pharmacy can quickly escalate into a life-threatening medical crisis. The assumption that you can simply get a refill when you run out is reckless. Roads may be closed for days, pharmacies may be without power, and supply chains can be disrupted. Waiting until a storm is forecast to check your pill bottle is far too late. You must be proactive and take absolute responsibility for your own health continuity. This requires stockpiling at least a 30-day supply of all essential prescription medications. Do not accept excuses from your doctor or insurance company. Explain that this is for a documented emergency preparedness kit and insist on an override for an advance refill. Having this supply on hand removes a major source of vulnerability and stress during an already difficult situation. Your emergency medical supply must extend beyond just your prescriptions. You need to assemble a well-stocked first aid kit and a cache of over-the-counter remedies for common ailments that can be exacerbated by cold and stress. Winter conditions can lead to colds, flu, and other respiratory issues. Your kit should include pain relievers like ibuprofen or acetaminophen, cough and cold medicine, decongestants, and throat lozenges. Also include any specific items related to your personal health needs, such as antacids, anti-diarrhea medication, or allergy pills. Remember to store temperature-sensitive medications, such as insulin, properly. If a power outage is prolonged, you will need a plan to keep them cool, which reinforces the need for a reliable backup power source for a small refrigerator or a quality cooler with cold packs. Check your entire medical stockpile every 6 months, rotating out any items that are nearing their expiration date. Your health is your responsibility, and failing to prepare an adequate medical supply is a direct failure to protect it. 9. A backup heat source is not a luxury. In a winter storm, your home's central heating system is entirely dependent on an uninterrupted supply of electricity or natural gas. When the power goes out, your furnace goes silent. Within hours, the temperature inside your home can plummet to dangerous levels, putting you at severe risk of hypothermia. This is not a distant possibility, it is a common and deadly reality of winter emergencies, especially for seniors who are more susceptible to the effects of cold. Believing you can simply bundle up with extra blankets is a dangerously naive strategy. Blankets only slow the loss of your own body heat. They do not generate new heat. To survive a prolonged outage in freezing temperatures, you must have a safe and effective alternative heating source. This is not a matter of comfort, it is a matter of survival. The choice of a heating alternative must be made with an uncompromising focus on safety. Using the wrong device indoors can be fatal. Never, under any circumstances, use outdoor equipment like charcoal grills, propane barbecues, or gas-powered generators inside your home, garage, or any enclosed space. These produce carbon monoxide, an odorless, colorless gas that can kill you in your sleep. For a safe indoor option, consider a propane or kerosene heater specifically rated for indoor use. These models are equipped with essential safety features, including an automatic shutoff if they are tipped over or if the oxygen level in the room drops too low. When using one, you must ensure there is adequate ventilation by cracking open a window. It is also mandatory to have working carbon monoxide detectors with battery backups on every level of your home. If you have a wood-burning stove or fireplace, it can be an excellent primary heat source, but only if it is professionally cleaned and inspected annually. You must also have a large, dry, and accessible supply of firewood stockpiled well before winter begins. Waiting for an emergency to think about warmth is a plan for disaster. 10. The ability to cook without power. In a prolonged winter power outage, your supply of non-perishable food is only as good as your ability to prepare it. While many canned goods can be eaten cold, a hot meal is not just a creature comfort, it is a critical source of warmth and a significant morale booster in a stressful, cold environment. Relying solely on cold rations is a grim prospect that can negatively impact both your physical and psychological well-being. Assuming the power will come back on before you need to cook is a dangerous and passive mindset. You must have a method to heat food and boil water that is completely independent of your kitchen's electric or gas stove. This is not an optional add-on to your survival kit, it is a fundamental component of a realistic preparedness strategy. Waiting until you are cold and hungry to figure out how to heat a can of soup is a failure to plan. Your off-grid cooking solution must be chosen with safety as the absolute priority. Never use outdoor cooking equipment like a full-sized barbecue grill or charcoal briquettes inside your home, garage, or any other enclosed space. The carbon monoxide they produce is a silent killer. The most practical and safe options for indoor emergency cooking are small portable stoves designed for camping or backpacking. A simple butane stove, which uses small self-contained fuel canisters, is an excellent choice. It is lightweight, easy to operate, and produces a controlled flame suitable for heating a pot or pan. Another option is a solid fuel stove that uses fuel tablets. Whatever stove you choose, you must stockpile an adequate supply of fuel to last for at least 1 week of regular use. Alongside the stove, you need appropriate cookware. A small heat-safe saucepan and a pot for boiling water are essential. A cast-iron skillet is also a durable and versatile choice. Ensure you have a long-stemmed lighter or waterproof matches to light your stove safely. Having this self-contained cooking system gives you control over your ability to prepare meals, making a difficult situation far more manageable. 11. Sanitation and hygiene. A non-negotiable for health. When the power is out and the water stops flowing, maintaining personal hygiene becomes an immediate and serious challenge. It is an aspect of survival that is often overlooked, but a breakdown in sanitation can lead to the rapid spread of bacteria and disease, turning a survival situation into a medical emergency. For seniors who may have compromised immune systems or mobility issues, the risks are even greater. A lack of proper hygiene can lead to skin infections, urinary tract infections, and other preventable health problems. Believing you can make do without basic sanitation supplies is not just unpleasant, it is a direct threat to your health. In an emergency, your goal is to reduce every possible risk, and neglecting hygiene is an unforced error you cannot afford to make. It is your responsibility to have the supplies on hand to stay clean and healthy when modern conveniences fail. Your emergency hygiene kit must be comprehensive. The cornerstone of water-free hygiene is a large supply of heavy-duty wet wipes. These are invaluable for daily cleaning when showers or baths are not possible. Hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol content is also critical for killing germs after using a makeshift toilet or before handling food. If you or a member of your household relies on adult incontinence products, you must have an abundant stockpile. Do not base your supply on normal usage. In a stressful situation with changes in diet and hydration, needs can increase. You must have more than you think you need. Feminine hygiene products are another absolute essential if applicable. Beyond these basics, think about sanitation. If the toilets will not flush, you need a plan. A simple bucket with a tight-fitting lid, lined with heavy-duty garbage bags and a small amount of cat litter or sawdust for absorption and odor control, can serve as a makeshift toilet. Having these items on hand prevents a desperate and unsanitary situation. Do not underestimate the psychological impact of being clean. It provides a sense of normalcy and dignity that is vital for mental resilience during a crisis. 12. Clearing your path. Essential snow and ice tools. A severe winter storm does not end when the snow stops falling. The aftermath, deep snow drifts, and slick sheets of ice creates a dangerous environment, especially for seniors. A blocked exit can trap you in your home, preventing you from evacuating in case of a fire or other emergency. An icy walkway is a severe fall hazard, and a fall for an older adult can easily result in a broken hip or other debilitating injury. A catastrophe that is immensely more complicated during a widespread emergency. The assumption that you can simply wait for someone else to clear your path is a dangerous one. Emergency services will be overwhelmed and neighbors may be dealing with their own problems. You must have the tools and supplies to create a safe path from your door. Being housebound by snow and ice is not just an inconvenience. It is a serious safety risk that you have the power to mitigate. Your snow and ice removal arsenal should be chosen with practicality and ease of use in mind. A heavy, oversized snow shovel is useless if you cannot lift it safely. Opt for a lightweight, ergonomic shovel designed to reduce back strain. An adjustable handle can allow you to find the most comfortable and effective position. Even better, consider a wheeled snow pusher, which allows you to clear pathways with a simple forward motion, eliminating the need for lifting entirely. Equally important is a supply of ice melt. Look for products that are effective at very low temperatures. Calcium chloride is generally more effective than rock salt, sodium chloride, when temperatures drop significantly. Keep a large sealed container of it stored in a dry, easily accessible place like a garage or covered porch. Finally, you must address personal mobility. A pair of high-quality traction cleats that strap onto your shoes or boots is an essential piece of safety equipment. They provide a firm grip on icy surfaces, dramatically reducing your risk of a fall. Having these simple tools on hand gives you control over your immediate environment and ensures you are not a prisoner in your own home. 13. Securing your immediate environment. Your home is your primary shelter, but a severe winter storm can compromise it. A tree branch could punch a hole in your roof. A window could shatter from high winds, or you might need to consolidate into a single, smaller room to conserve heat. In these scenarios, you must have the materials to create a temporary fix or an emergency shelter within your own home. Waiting for outside help to patch a hole in your roof while snow and freezing water pour in is not a viable strategy. Assuming your house will remain perfectly intact is a dangerous oversight. You need basic shelter-in-place supplies to maintain a safe, dry, and warm living space, no matter what the storm does to your structure. This isn't about long-term construction. It's about immediate, decisive action to protect yourself from the elements when your primary defenses have been breached. The core of your emergency shelter kit consists of simple, versatile materials. Heavy-duty tarps are non-negotiable. They can be used to cover a damaged roof, seal a broken window, or partition a large room to create a smaller, more easily heated space. Stockpile several along with plenty of high-quality duct tape, which has near-limitless uses in an emergency, from patching tiers to securing tarps. You will also need basic tools like a utility knife and rope or bungee cords. Beyond materials for repairs, you must have a way to stay warm if your main heating source fails and you're confined to a cold space. High-quality sleeping bags rated for cold temperatures, ideally 0 Fahrenheit or lower, are essential. A sleeping bag is far more effective at retaining body heat than a simple pile of blankets. It creates a micro-environment around your body, and for a senior, preventing hypothermia is a top priority. Do not rely on the decorative comforter from your bed. Invest in a proper, temperature-rated sleeping bag. Combining this with a small pop-up tent, set up indoors in your chosen warm room can add another critical layer of insulation, trapping body heat even more effectively. This creates a defensible warm space, a non-negotiable for surviving a prolonged freezing power outage. 14. Your identity and finances. Protect and prepare. In a widespread disaster, the systems that manage daily life can grind to a halt. Banks may be closed, ATMs offline, and digital payment systems useless. At the same time, you may be forced to evacuate or need to prove your identity to access emergency services or shelter. In this chaos, your physical documents and a supply of cash become your most important assets. Assuming you can simply pull up a file on your phone or swipe a credit card is a foolish gamble. If you are forced from your home without your essential records, you become a non-person in the eyes of bureaucracy, making an already traumatic experience infinitely more difficult. Rebuilding your life without proof of who you are, what you own, and what medical needs you have is a nightmare you must actively work to prevent. The time to gather and protect these items is now, not when you are told you have 10 minutes to evacuate. Your preparation must be twofold. Secure your documents and secure your cash. First, gather all your critical paperwork. This includes government-issued IDs, driver's license, passport, birth certificates, Social Security cards, and Medicare/Medicaid cards. Add to this property deeds, vehicle titles, insurance policies, and recent bank statements. Make copies of your essential prescription information and contact details for all your doctors. Once gathered, you must protect these documents from the most likely threats. Water and fire. Store the original documents, or at least high-quality copies, in a certified fireproof and waterproof safe or lockbox. For added redundancy, scan every document and save the digital copies on a password-protected USB flash drive, which should also be kept in the waterproof container. Second, you must have cash. In a power outage, credit and debit cards are worthless. You need small denominations of cash to buy essential goods from one of the few places that may be open or to pay for services in an emergency. Do not rely on a single $100 bill. Have a mix of ones, fives, and 20s. Keep this cash with your important documents in your go bag, ready to be grabbed at a moment's notice. 15. The unbreakable rule. Always have a way to communicate. When disaster strikes, communication is everything. It is your link to emergency services, your connection to anxious family members, and your source for vital information. Yet, standard communication methods are notoriously fragile. Cell towers can be damaged or lose power. Overloaded networks can make placing a call impossible. The internet will go down with the electricity. Believing your smartphone will work flawlessly throughout a winter emergency is a critical mistake. If you cannot call for help, you cannot be helped. If you cannot get information, you are operating blind. You must establish a layered, redundant communication plan that does not depend on a functioning grid. A dead phone is a useless piece of glass, and in an emergency, it can be a death sentence. Your communication strategy starts with power. Your smartphone is only useful if it's charged. A single, small power bank is insufficient for a multi-day outage. You need several high-capacity, fully charged power banks dedicated solely to your emergency kit. This is your first line of defense. Your second layer should be a communication device that doesn't rely on the cellular network. For local, short-range communication, perhaps with a neighbor or a family member down the street, a pair